What's on my mind? Season 2, episode 25. Topic, Willie Lynch. But there's a couple of things I want to say to you right now. To all the people who have invested their time, thank you. I appreciate you all because I know these segments are long and your time is valuable. So I appreciate you. I honor you. I thank you. I am going to be changing up my format somewhat. I'm always going to give the long version on YouTube, but I'm going to give shorter versions on Facebook. I was supposed to end the season with this particular video, but it's going to go a little bit longer. I've been approached by many people, and I want to say the people that approached me and offered me their assistance, I want to say thank you. To the guy who offered me a place to a video studio, I want to say thank you. To the people who offered me research, legal, more information, direction, guidance, to all those people, I want to say thank you. I'm going to change the format a little bit, and I'm going to go viral with a couple of things. And I have to make it smaller. But the full message will always be on YouTube. The shorter messages will be on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. But it's all going to be the truth and all going to be the benefit of our children. This is for the benefit of every man, white, black, or yellow. It does not differ. The message is to all of us. It all depends on how you receive it. You receive it good, good. If you receive it bad, bad. But on both cases, ask yourself who, what, where, why, and how. Ask questions. Okay? Ask questions. And then I'm bringing up some new segments that are going to come up. And it's going to be one segment. It's going to be real short. It's going to be rumors and innuendos. Rumors and innuendos. So at the end of this, I'm going to give you a preview of what rumors and innuendos. And that's where you get a chance to write your comments. Do you believe the rumor? Do you believe the innuendo? Is it true? Is it false? I agree. I disagree. You can put it right on there. So let me go into Willie Lynch. I asked everybody to research him. Go to your YouTube. Go to Google him. Do your homework. The question that Americans are saying, is America racist? And the question is, the answer to that is yes. America is racist. It's built on racism. Is the people in America racist? Not necessarily. Is all white people racist? No. I'll come out and say it again. Are all white people racist? No. They are not. Are all black people racist? No. Nobody, no group all of them are not racist. Do we have racist tendencies? Yes. Every single group have racist tendencies. Nobody's exempt from that. Why? Willie Lynch. If you looked him up, his philosophy is in practice right now. White people, listen to me. Willie Lynch's practice philosophy have been used on you as much as it's been used on me. They use it as a weapon against the masses of the people. Yes, it was invented for to keep me in bondage. Yes, it was invented to keep me mentally weak and physically strong. It was used to control me for hundreds and hundreds of years. They wanted it to suppress me and keep me suppressed for all time. But they could not see beyond their error and had no idea what is to come. Now, my people, white people, I did a segment that says white is the new black. The same practices on which they use on me to oppress me is the same practices they're using on you to oppress you. You're being oppressed without you not really understanding the oppressor and the oppression. So let me go back into the beginning of his philosophy for we can understand it for the people who did not research and did not do your homework. Willie Lynch was a slave owner, master of the West Indies. America, the slave owners in America and Virginia in the South, had a problem of controlling their slaves, keeping what they consider their property alive and functioning, bringing the people to a different form of living, oppressing them, but staying alive themselves. Economically, it was not one slave, one white man, one slave, one overlord, not one slave, a controlling person. Economically, that was not feasible. On a plantation, they could have 100 slaves and just 10 white men overseeing all operations. So how can they sleep at night? How can they break the will of the people from their natural state to make them slaves? Because the black people knew freedom, knew a way of life, So Mr. Lynch took the time to figure out the practices and what to do. And he came up with a philosophy that is used still to this day. Before I go into philosophy, I always say you have to know your history. You have to know why you have the biases that you have today. What are the biases built on? Why do you feel a certain way about people, places, and things? And not only look at the present time, but go back, go back, go back, go back. I can't say it enough. You cannot go forward unless you know your true history. So I don't mind my glasses because I did my notes and I have so much information, and I'm old now, so it's hard to retain everything. So I gotta write it down. So Willie Lynch came to America in 1712. He spoke in Virginia at the James River. And he said, I have a way to control the slaves for at least 300 years, but I want it. And I built it to last forever. First, we have to look at the differences of all the people that we want to control. We have to install fear, distrust, and envy within the people. For us to have control, we need to install, because it wasn't there. Listen, we have to install. Fear, distrust, and envy in the people. Why? When we install fear, distrust, and envy in the people, they cannot unite. They cannot get on the same page. They cannot. Listen to me. Because next week when I talk about power with Dr. Weeks, you understand, it'll come together. But listen to the words. So, installing this distrust and this envy and fear, what they used was age. I'm going to take the old and make them fight against the young. I'm going to get the old not to trust the young and get the young not to trust the old. I'm going to make them envious of each other by the work and duties that I give them. I am going to play on the different shades of skin. I am going to treat the darkest of all of them the worst. And as they get lighter, I'm going to treat them better, for they can distrust and be envious of each other. I'm going to separate the most intelligent from the least intelligent. I'm going to put envy in between them, treat them, talk to them, even kill the most intelligent. Because what we don't want is a strong mind. We want a weak mind and a strong body. That's what we want. So, I got to put on my ring because my ring's supposed to be on. I'm sorry about that. I want a strong body and a weak mind. Size. Big against the small against the big. And the sex. I have to separate the black woman from the black man. That's a must. That's the key. A very important key. So, the goal is, now listen to the goal. I gave you the weapons, now I'm going to give you the goal. The goal is to make the slaves, to make the subjects, to only trust me, the master. I got to make them to only depend on me for their livelihood. I need them to trust me and depend on me for their livelihood. Trust me, depend on me to give them leadership. I could never have them stand on equal ground. They have to be beneath me, depend on me for their livelihood. I need to control that. And I control them always without fear of them doing anything about it. So, everything white is good and everything black is bad. This is 1712. Does it seem to be true in 2021? Yes, it is. So, to control the mind and to control the people, what they did was they looked for the one black man that was a leader. They looked for that one black man which the people gravitated to. They looked for that one black man that was outspoken, that was rebellious, that longed for his freedom. They looked for that one black man. They isolated him and his first lieutenant. They grabbed him and brought him out front of all the slaves. They tied and feathered him. Tied him one hand to a horse, the other hand to a horse. Set his body on fire and hit the horses till they dismembered the body. This is in front of his wife, his children. Every other black man and woman on the plantation had to watch. The second man, They stripped him naked, tied him to a horse post. The master had sexual relationship with that man. A man had sexual relation with another man, for nobody will have respect for him. And he did it in front of the women, the children, and the other man. Not only did they have sexual relationship, they beat him with a whip to the point of death to break his spirit. They only kept him alive for he could breed, for he could have children. That was his only benefit. They wanted to break the mind and leave the body. So, how can you break a person's mind? How can you break a person's spirit? So this is what they did. They took away his language, because within your language is your history. Let me say this again. Within your language is your history. When you know your history, you know who you are in this world. So the first thing they did was, you could not speak your natural language. You had to speak a language in which they taught you. Willie Lynch made it perfectly clear. We are going to teach them English, but the English we're going to teach them is limited in its scope. It is limited in the words and how to use the words properly. It was forbidden to learn a black person, a person of color, to read and write. It was forbidden. If you find a black person reading, that was death. And to them, killing their stock, their form of economics, was also a sin. But reading was a greater sin. So we had to take their language. In taking their language, they took the history of that person. Mr. Lynch said this was 100-year project. This project of breaking and reshaping the slaves, and I'm going to put the word black man, to break him, to control him for all times. We had to take away his language and his history. So when he looked backwards to know who he is and what he is, the only thing he have is us. Black people in America. The Black American. What is your language? It is not English. We do not know. What are we? What nation are we from? What tribe? We do not know. What do we know? Come on, let's be for real. Let's be 100%. What do we know? Little or nothing. So, Willie Lynch says, we have to make the black woman, she's the key for us to have control. We have to break her spirit. We must make her submit to us without reservation. To control, the key to everything is the black woman. Mr. Lynch says we have to make her yield to our will without reservation. No matter what we do to her, she do not have to think twice. She's at our beck and call. So, what they did? Yes, they raped our women. They raped our women until they was willing to give it up. And after that, they had sex with them annual, or they fucked them in the ass with them without them complaining. They had anal sex with them without them complaining. They made them look at them as men and made them look at black men as nothing. Why? Because the key is the black woman. The black woman will raise her son to submit to the white man for the fear of his life. She will make her son mentally weak and physically strong and be more than willing to work in the fields. Also, she will raise her daughter to submit to his will. I know this been long, but this is so powerful. I've been a half an hour now, so I need to cut it off here because I know your time is valuable. Jump into Willie Lynch. Remember, this is the tools that we do not have. You know, when I was growing up, the white man used to call us boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy, because they did not want to have equal ground. When we watch sports, they used to say the white man was intelligent and the black man was bright. play on the language and the words. Give me 5 more minutes. Give me 5 more minutes. I wrap this up. They played on words, word games. They control us with their language. Now, white people, you are being led down a road of destruction because there's no longer black and white. It's about rich and poor. They make you and they give you the illusion that you're living under privilege. That's the big word now, white privilege. That is to fool you, to make you feel comfortable while they taking all your economics. Your money do not worth anything now, and each year it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And what they got to say, you're doing better than the black man over there. Or is he living in your neighborhood, he's taking from you. It's not a black and white issue no more. It's the haves and the have-nots. I could go on with this so much more, but I want you to think about the conditions. Think why when you go to your job, everybody on top of your job is white. Why is everybody white and there's no black people? When you go to the business and you go to the corporate office, it's all white people and black people in servitude. You go to the restaurant, black people washing dishes, sweeping the floor. The lighter skinned blacks are the greeters. And I didn't get into this. I want to get into this too. Willie Lynch say, we need to make different shades of black people. All the slave owners and overseers have sex with the black woman for we can develop different shades of black. I know my Latino brothers and sisters and Japanese and Chinese sisters and brothers say, oh, that don't got to do nothing with me. Well, my Latino brothers, look at your government. Look at the complexion of your president. My Latino brothers and sisters, look at the complexion of the people who own the businesses. I ain't talking about the corner store, but I'm talking about the bank presidents when you need to go get money for a loan. Look at the complexion of the people who sell you cars, who own the supermarkets. Be truthful and look. And yes, you're going to say, oh, we all the same nationality. It ain't no difference. But they got better opportunities than the darker skinned people who are the same nationality as you. I've been fortunate. I was made for this program. I was bred for this program. I was able to travel around the world completely around 360 degrees around this world 3 times. I've been in Asia for a month 3 different times. I have seen what is being done in Asia. And I speak to my Asian brethren. And I'm asking them, how is that possible? I'm in your country, and I look at the billboards, and all the Asian people that's up on the billboards, all the Asian people that's in the movies and on TV, look like they're half white. Their eyes and their natural features of them is not being portrayed in places of influence. They look more white than Asian. So not only Willie Lynch's practice on us, it's practice all over the world in some degree. Know your history. Look and question everything. And I'm going to stop it right here because I'm going long. This is too long. I have so much to say. So I said I'm coming up. I came up with a new segment. Rumors and innuendo. So it's going to be something separate, but I'm going to throw it in right here, and you can answer in the comment. Do you believe it's true? You think it's fake? I have seen it. I have experienced it. Or what? Jumping back to the city of Boston city government. It was told to me in some departments that people sign in for themselves and their friends. They sign in the timesheet for them and their friends. Also, they leave 45 minutes to an hour early and sign out for them and their friend. Both incidents is one person signing in for two, come late, back sign in the time for him and his friend, leave early, sign out for him and his friend. It was rumored that they wrote human resources about that problem. It's rumored that nothing, absolutely nothing happened. So, what's new? So you can write in the comment, say, yes, I see this. No, I don't believe it's true. Or it's impossible. Also, I requested Mr. He's going about it the wrong way to come on the program. He did not acknowledge the request. No big surprise. But if he's bold enough to be calling people, going around talking to people, trying to tell you how to think, how to feel, how to respond, but he can't stand up in front of the people and talk. That talks volumes on character. That talks volumes on self-worth. That talks value or volumes on who he is. And got to go. That's what's on my mind. Thank you. Thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for investing in me. Next week, Dr. Weeks, and we're going to talk about power. You have to stay with me on this because it all would tie in. It all would tie into what? The betterment of my children, your children, our children, no matter what color you are, is the betterment of all of us. It doesn't feel that way right now, but trust me, we'll all get there together at the same time. Thank you.